Hey guys, this is Jake from MGC and welcome to the SG podcast.
Fantastic. Jake, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a nice warm Sunday. So yeah, shouldn't really be in the office, but in the office doing a podcast. But it's all good. All good.
Good. And things for you. I mean, we saw you guys at the last show, which is the London show.
Yep.
I've got good close connections with the guys with Gav over at the Cardiff Card Show, and I believe that you're one of the sponsors there as well. So I see that your schedule's fairly booked up.
Yeah, really busy at the moment. Like we were just saying off air, it's kind of every single weekend there's a card show. And we just want to be a big part of the UK community, and at least this year for certain, we just got to support them as much as we can. We did it all last year. We traveled to as many card shows as we could, and we're doing the same this time around as well. So yeah, it'll be good. It's every single card show we're going to ups the game every single time, or they do something a little bit different, a little bit unique, which the others didn't. So it's quite nice seeing everyone's kind of take on it. And yeah, Cardiff's looking really excitable, as well as just the actual event, which is going to be great. And then it also seems as well, I think Gav's got some good plans for the evening as well, for all the people that come down to Wales. And I think he's obviously proud Welshman, so he wants to show off Wales in the best condition he can. So yeah, looking forward to both the day and hopefully the evening as well. So it should be good.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's good as well, isn't it, to get in front of people and physically have that face of the brand as well, where people can just come and talk to you. And how have you found that as well, getting in front of people?
It's fun. It's hard work. After the end of the day, if you haven't been drinking lots of water, your mouth is dry, your throat hurts slightly. But I think the best thing about it, you see a higher level of cards, to a certain degree, because the trust in people actually hand delivering it to you or dropping it off there and then is a lot better. Put in perspective, the last card show, we had an absolute crazy collection. Gentlemen submitted some first edition Charizards to us. Some things like that you don't really see every single day. And then on the sports side, we had a few kind of basketball cards that have actual diamonds in kind of encased into them, which is obviously also pretty cool as well. And these things you maybe don't see, unless they come down to like the walk-in centre here and things like that, but you don't see kind of every single day coming through the post. So it's pretty good one there.
Yeah, that's really cool. And with you, for yourself with MGC, how did it all begin? How did it all start for you guys?
So similar kind of situation, I suppose, to a lot of the other companies that are in the UK and things like that. There was definitely a gap in the market for it. And I was just looking at the situation and I just felt, I can do this better than, not better than what PSA or better than the major companies are doing, but the areas where they lack, which was kind of like customer service, turnaround times and price. And obviously being in the UK, I was like, well, we can tick all them boxes. We can do it kind of better than, we can give a better customer service. We can offer better price in terms of actually, the grading service. And I also think now as well, and I think the UK guys, I would agree on it, we get to spend more time on people's cards than any of the American companies do. The big American companies, that is. In my eyes anyway, I think we would. You look at PSA last month grading 1 million cards, I think it was, or 800,000 cards. And obviously they've got a lot of employees, they've got a huge amount of employees and things like that. But how much time are they getting to spend on each card? How much time are they getting? And, who are all these new guys that they're hiring that essentially, I think it was 10 years ago, PSA only had about 5 or 6 graders. So, that's and obviously the hobby's grown and, and things like that, but they're obviously getting people in new as well, so I think, I just thought, what, we can do it better. Originally it was just going to be solely an encapsulation service. My whole point of it was going to be encapsulation service, more down to the fact that I was fed up of kind of seeing things happen on kind of Facebook and not so much Instagram, but the inevitable kind of scammers and things like that, people sending things in the post, you know, and then essentially buying it off eBay, sending it in the post, and it's a fake card, and then sending it back. And all. I was just fed up with it, and it happened to me a few times buying things online. And my whole thing was, how could we do it? And at first we were like, yeah, we're not going to grade cards. We're just solely going to encapsulate, authenticate them, encapsulate, and it will be able to, you know, transfer between the two. Put some market research out there, started doing a bit of research, seeing what people actually wanted. And the majority of the response was, you know, you need to grade the cards as well. We want a grading service. Yeah, we want a grading service as well. So that's where it kind of stemmed from. The name and the brand and all that kind of stuff there, I mean, was probably put together in about 5 minutes. I just was like, well, the big companies in the world are all known by 3 letters, so we need 3 letters. We need something that's you know, like a royal brand as such, something that's, you know, got a Union Jack stamp on it as well, so they know it's British. A lion with a crown, and call it Majesty Grading Company, and that's how it started. And there's no, you know, sugarcoating it, like, you know,
that's cool.
Looking in the distance, and I ended up seeing a lion, and then, you know, none of that. It was just literally, you know, thought of it and was like, yeah, I like it. Sounds good. MGC rolls off the tongue quite nicely. I think a big thing as well, you know, with like eBay and things like that, how people list their cards. You know, everyone is PSA 10, SGC 10, you know, BGS 10. I think that 3 syllable and then the number after it, for some strange reason, it just works, you know. So why change it? So that's pretty much how we kind of started. I started very small. My background is I had a few other businesses beforehand, but I was also working full time for Kellogg's, the cereal company. So I was had other businesses that were running, ticking over, quite self-sufficient. But then also had a full-time job selling cereal and Pringles. So nothing kind of crazy, but the great thing about it allowed me to probably steal some time off them, where I should have been, you know, working hard selling, you know, cornflakes and things like that. But instead I was working on MGC and building MGC, and you know, storing some money aside to try and fund it. Started it, and ever since, you know, I've been kind of you know, finished at Kellogg's, you know, quit my job there, brought on a team of people that, you know, are probably more knowledgeable than me in different kind of areas. Well, I haven't got the knowledge of certain things, so just brought a big team together now, which, I say a big team, it's 7 people, but bring a team together, you know, that all kind of have different elements and different areas of the job that they do really well. So yeah, exciting how much we've grown in a year.
I bet.
You know, it's worrying that you can do it. You know, that's the thing. It's like you can literally, if you put your mind to something, within a year, you know, you can go from, essentially I was, you know, fully employed in a job that I didn't really like. You know, it was just getting me by, to doing something that I'm passionate about and enjoy every single day. You know, getting paid to do it, and then also seeing people as well that want to work for us. You know, the amount of people that we get messaging CVs in and things like that, it's crazy. You know, really, really cool. But you know, it's a fun place to work, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. You know, it's pretty much you get to do your hobby each day, without spending a huge amount of money as well, opening packs every day. That's the best thing about it for me. My spending in terms of opening packs has gone down, because all I see is, you know, people's cards every day, and I just, you know, for that split second when a cool card comes in, you just imagine it's yours for the time, and you're pretty good. Yeah,
that's cool. That's really interesting, man. That's really cool. And I remember seeing as well, like I think it was fairly early days, but I'm sure you'll tell me either way. But how did the thing come with Netflix, with Xbox? Like I saw the 2 campaigns that you ran with those, and I was like, from the outside, like, just like, this is so cool. Like I can imagine you getting that email, just like, this is cool. This is just a cool thing. Right?
I always, like, I've told the story a few times, but it's such a cool one. It's like and it's still to this day blows my mind, like, you know. But the first time a guy phoned me up and was like, oh, you know, we're interested in building a trading card. And I wasn't really sure. I was a bit like, oh, okay, like, you know, it's not something I do. I don't design. I'm not a designer or anything like that. You know, but I was like, I can help. You know, we can do something. I'd quite like to be involved with it. It'd be quite cool. And I was like trying to dig more deeper, like trying to find out information. And the guy wasn't really giving anything away. And he was like, he's like, let's talk numbers and then we can then discuss the project further on.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so I fired over, went to some printing companies and things like that, and got obviously the costings of what we would be able to do the kind of the encapsulation of and stuff. And then sent the prices over. They just, straight away come back to us, said, yeah, we want to go for it. Can you do it now? Get it done, kind of thing. I was like, yeah, we can do it. Let's let us know what you want to do. And then they said, oh yeah, I was like, who do you work for? They were like, oh, Xbox. We work for Xbox. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Like, this is crazy. So we kind of, so it was the one of the marketing guys from Xbox, and I think like a junior or an assistant from Netflix. They were like teamed up together for this project. And it all stemmed from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being an ambassador for Xbox and having a new movie come out on Netflix, Red Notice, which was like the biggest budget that Netflix had ever put into a movie kind of thing before. So that's cool. They were going all out for it. And yeah, we sat down in kind of the office and went through, and we suggested some designs and things like that. And we were saying about, okay, well, we need to have these kind of elements to it. It still had to have kind of a marketing / sales vibe to it as well, because on the back of each card there's a unique code that allows people to get a free, I think it's a free year to Xbox Live or something along the lines of that. Wow. Yeah, pretty cool. So we kind of was like, okay, well, football cards, and kind of Pokemon cards and things like that have hollow aspects, or they have kind of a cracked ice finish, or all of these kind of things there. So we're like, right, what can we do with the budgets obviously that we got and things? So we added like a nice gold foil similar to the MGC logo, exactly the same gold foil with the MGC logo onto the card. And then with the kind of the back, it's got a cracked iced finish on the back, similar to kind of some of the kind of the promos and things that the Pokemon do, and obviously with Merlin, Topps Merlin as well, the atomic refracts kind of like that cracked ice look. So we pretty much took that, added that to the card. They got some photo images and things that from The Rock and Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds all done. Sent them over to the printing company, put it all together, and and then we helped design the label and stuff like that, and finally did the task. We started off, I think it was like 300 or 400 cards we did for them. And then they came back and they're like, yeah, we need more. And I was like, okay, that's fine, we can do it. I think in the end, it ended up being like something like either 50, I think it was like 1,500 or 2,000. I don't know off the top of my head.
Wow.
But yeah, so we did a huge amount from in the end. Got it turned around really quickly in the end and stuff like that. It was a lot of kind of late nights and the great thing about it was as well is you need to be switched on when you grade. You need to always make sure that you're switched on and you're looking at cards and things on a regular basis and trying to do your best, one, to look for fakes and one to spot kind of any defects and things like that. But the thing with this is it was like, right, okay, well, I can burn myself to the ground with this. I can work really, really hard and get this done because I don't need to grade any of them. There's emotional use. We just have to put the label in, encapsulate it, get it done. Just make sure that the quality was there. So yeah, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights till kind of 4 or 5 in the morning, sleeping. And thankfully I had like a great group of guys that kind of helped us along and picked up the slack maybe where I was kind of a bit burnt out and such. But it was a cool experience. And then literally we delivered the product to them. And I think within 2 days I got another phone call and they said, oh, next project. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I was like, this is crazy. And they're like, I'm going to put you in contact with Halo. Obviously with Xbox and Halo, we're going to put you in contact with them, and we want to do another project with that on that one. So I was like, yeah, that's cool, we'll do it. What do you want this time? We designed the card. They were like, no, there's an artist. She's painted a huge painting that's been put in the Saatchi Art Gallery in London and in the Louvre in Paris. We're going to cut it up and we're going to put it in the slabs and then send it out to other people in the world. And I was like, right, this just sounds ridiculous. I was like,
poor woman's artwork. Yeah,
that's it. I know. And honestly, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, I've got, I think there's an example over there somewhere, but I remember kind of like seeing all the pieces and stuff like that. and we ended up getting one piece as like as a bit of a backhanded kind of tester that shouldn't have really gone out, but they wanted us to have a bit. So I think I've got like number 249 out of 250 or whatever on that
That's
one.
cool.
Yeah. So they basically cut this paint up, and all I've just got is a big blob of grass, basically, just greenery. You couldn't tell where it was on the painting. There's no kind of like spaceships or Master Chief, on it kind of thing. So but still cool to have. It's a nice nice kind of memory and project that we did.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. Like, by the sounds of it, then from yourself, like you've gone into it starting initially thinking we want to encapsulate, and then the custom side of it, but then they've seen that what you can do, and your attitude by the sound of it is yes first, and then we'll work it out and we'll sort it, we'll do the best we can, and then we'll deliver what you've asked for, right? Am I along the right lines?
I really do back MGC as a brand. I back the guys on board that are kind of helping to create kind of this cool brand. And yeah, like I said, we've got a new person joining on Monday, which hasn't got any card knowledge at all, and it's her job role is not going to be anything to do with kind of the card side. It's going to be more to do with the admin. But it's going to be a cool person there, and we're just growing, getting bigger and bigger, which is always fun. So a few more headaches, but yeah, it just means that I'm thinking with the addition of this new person, the role we've essentially created for them, it's going to mean that our guys are going to be more focused on grading, more focused on encapsulation, and just take a little bit of the workload off of them to make our guys more efficient that are kind of grading stuff, with the addition of Shannon. So yeah, some good things happening for sure on that side. That's
really nice. That's good to hear as well. And it sounds really a good place to work by the sounds of it. And as you say, if you've got loads of people sending in CVs anyway, and you're not even asking, it's nice.
Yeah, it's good. Like one of the ones I always go back to all the time is Jordan. So Jordan's our head grader at MGC. Okay. Joined as just an initial grader. We didn't have a head grader at the time. He's kind of worked his way up, and now he's looking after the grading team. Wow. His whole story, and the grading team's still small, like still a real small team, but it just felt right. The commitment was there, early on. Jordan was a member from the MGC kind of membership club from day one. He lived in Bournemouth at the time as well. So it was quite cool to essentially steal him from Bournemouth and bring him all the way up to kind of Hertfordshire, and wow. Yeah. So big move for him. Took a lot of balls as such to make that jump, and ended up obviously joining us at MGC, and he's just kind of grown through there and got stronger and stronger. So yeah, and his knowledge is great. We've got a real kind of mixed variety of people in the team now that have different knowledge on different kind of TCGs, different sports they're knowledgeable on, and things like that. I can touch into quite a lot of them as well, which kind of helps. So, but Jordan's got that kind of range of kind of knowledge on a lot of different things now, and collected a lot of different kind of TCGs. And if anything else comes out, that's why he's head grade at the moment, because he just learns about it straight away. He's excited to go and find out what that card is, what that new brand of card is. I think that's what you need. Like Metazoo at the moment, he's absolutely addicted to Metazoo. Like he's just gone crazy on it because he had no knowledge on it, and just wanted to get involved in it, wanted to learn more about it. And now his knowledge is really strong on it, and a huge collector of Metazoo. So yeah, it's a good place to work. I mean, we're still small, we still can't pay stupid wages and things that I'd love to one day, give people what they actually really deserve. But yeah, if you do work for MGC, we've got mini fridges and things that always filled with drinks and chocolate and stuff like that. So you get to pick your own choice of drink when you come, and that's made sure that's always in the fridge for you and stuff when you join. So yeah, it's a good place to work.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, like looking from the outside as well, seeing you guys, the social media side of things that you do, is there one of the questions that I sort of always looked at and always sort of intrigued by, is have you had any sort of pitfalls along the way? Have you had anything that you could share that that when you first started, or even recently, or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. Every week
Really?
Every week. So it's something, I think something goes wrong every single week. There's always things going wrong. There's always, things that you expected to come out better that they didn't. You have to work on. I've been working on a project kind of aside from MGC, but I've been working on a project since October, which has taken so long, and it's still probably a month, 2 months away. I was expecting that to be done within 2 months, but it hasn't happened. I suppose in terms of pitfall, I think when you build it, so like when the first MGC label came out, I wasn't happy with it. It was okay, it was good enough, but people keep evolving, other companies keep getting better and better and things like that. So you're always looking, they've done this, they've done that. So we always try and stay one step ahead, at all times, and trying to, improve as a business and get better and better. And when we first kind of launched, I suppose this is day one pitfall. Yeah, this is day one. And this was like, my worst kind of problem. I was thinking I put a date out of when we were going to launch.
Yeah.
And this was when we did the 500 club, where you could grade a card essentially for free. 500 people got the opportunity to, and that went over that as well, which is crazy. We had like people like on a reserve list and stuff like that. And then stupidly of, me being probably a little bit greedy at the time and worried about, how much I'd invested into the business and was actually going to get anything out. Were these people going to just submit were we going to get 500 cards and that was going to be it, and no one else was ever going to submit a card of us. So I kind of a little bit kind of, not, I don't know if it's stupid or not, but I said, what, you can also submit 500 cards, and you can submit your 500, you one of each or whatever. But on top of that as well, you can also submit cards and pay for it.
Okay.
Which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have waited and done the 500 cards as a test, got it there, so the process was down to a T. And I think we did well. I mean, were you part of the 500 at first?
I wasn't actually, but I remember a couple of people around me that were, and I'm sure I'd spoken to somebody about it, or probably you at the time. But I remember it very well. But I wasn't at the start now.
Yeah, because it was one thing that everyone was happy. I think we did a great job of getting it back, and but deep down I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with the processes. I wasn't happy with the infrastructure that we had, which was to be expected. We were a week old as such. But things went wrong, straight away. So it was around about the time where the Suez Canal got blocked by that big tanker ship, I think it was, or something along the lines of that, a big cargo ship. The cargo ship that had our kind of equipment and stuff wasn't on that boat, but it was behind it, so it was stuck in a huge queue. So where I had the plan of having essentially 3 weeks of testing internally testing to get everything perfect, that then went to 1 week. And it was I should have accounted for the fact that things do go wrong. But at the same time, it was a bit of I think everyone was in the same situation, Get Graded, Pokey Grade, trying to figure out who else was around at that kind of time, but it was all a big rush, who was going to be first. And I think Get Graded were the first company out there. We'd all pretty much, I imagine, press the order form and press the order on with the kind of the factories and things like that and stuff around about the same time. But it was a battle, I imagine, to whose cargo ship was the quickest in to become who the first grading company going. So I think it followed in. I think Get Graded were probably around about maybe 2 weeks before us, or 3 weeks before, something like that. Then Pokey Grade, and then I think we then launched a week after. In terms of like the website was open, you can submit. But yeah, that was the first pitfall. I mean, we didn't get enough time to really practice and understand, how the machinery was working and how welding machines work and things like that. As much as we had people that we were kind of asking advice from, and I'd kind of managed to kind of befriend a few kind of people in the UK and things that had kind of that knowledge, and they kind of came in. But we were nowhere at a stage where I could say, quit your welding job, and come work for us. It was like, we can't pay salaries of £40,000 a year or whatever that they were kind of on at the present. So it was taking knowledge from them, doing a lot of kind of research, a lot of testing. But we managed to turn it around in a week. Got everything set up, got everything there kind of, ready. And then we had some printing issues with the kind of the way that the ink was being transferred. So one thing that I wanted to do from the outset was make sure that our security levels were the same levels as, say, for instance, the likes of PSA.
Okay.
So, you know, PSA have UV protection. They have a UV ink inside the actual label. So when you shine a UV torch over it, you can see it. You know, so if you've got a PSA slab, you shine the back of it, it will come up PSA, PSA, PSA.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Around the board. A load of other little things as well. So everything they did, I wanted to integrate into ours, plus a little bit more.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had MGC Secure Tech, which is the microchip inside, versus a QR code, which, you know, a microchip is stronger than a QR code, which you can just literally take a picture of and reprint. Yeah. So we did a few things like that, and the ink that we used, the kind of the thermal ink we were using, despite, you know, contacting numerous printing companies and, you know, working with experts and things like that, and they said no, it'll all be good. The ink that we used for the first kind of, like, I think it's the first week or something on the lines of that, the UV ink and the printing ink was reacting together, and the UV ink was eating the actual ink.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, you know, and how were we meant to know this? I don't know. You know, but you know, the printing company, no, it's fine. And I said, no, something's happening. So, you know, that was another pitfall. We had to change that, you know, get that kind of sorted. And now we're at a stage where we've got a real kind of, you know, steady, consistent product that works very well. Our in-house systems are good as well, which they're going to be, you know, improved a lot, you know, very soon. But they're at a stage now where we can work comfortably and we can deal with large quantities of cards on a daily basis, get them through very quickly. But yeah, in the future, we've got things coming that are just going to blow out the water and mean that we're so much more efficient, and probably, you know, more efficient than you know, the majority of grading companies out there at the moment as well. So that'd be really cool. But yeah, I mean, the list of pitfalls goes on. You know, I've literally just got into the office today and seen that the new batch of labels slightly not cut correctly. So they're being sent back. We'll get them recut, and they can sort them out. And yeah, so it's always an issues and things. But I suppose that's running the business, problem solving and trying to figure things out as you go along.
Yeah, that's cool, and that actually leads me on as well. I was going to leave this bit to right at the end, but it leads in really well. So from the last episode, and we'll go into a bit more about yourself as well, but from the last episode, Dan from Sports Cards UK has asked a question for yourself. He had no idea who was next, but it actually
really that's really good.
It's good.
Really it's cool. Good. I like Dan a lot. He does a lot of videos and of MGC. He's a big backer of us. So yeah, hopefully it's a cool question that fits in nicely.
It does, and it fits in with where we are right now. I don't want to save it to the end because it fits in where we are now. So you said that you've got some projects coming up, and Dan asked, it's like a two-part question really. He said, where do you see the business going? And he said within the 5 years. I don't know if 5 years is too far to look or not, but the question is, where do you see the business in 5 years, and what do you feel that you have to do to get there?
Okay. So the systems that come into place very soon with MGC, which I've been working on since October, will mean that MGC as a brand is more efficient, you know, better run, and things like that. Also introduce, you know, a thing that people are speaking about a lot, and they want the pop reports. We've been working on them for a long time, so that's something that's been kind of building since kind of like October and things to get that kind of perfect. But yeah, our systems will become a lot stronger, and we'll also be more integrated all around the world as well. So essentially building MGC as a bigger brand, as a bigger company. Where we'll be in 5 years, I mean, I don't know, to be fair. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
A long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. If we keep growing at the way we've been growing in a year, you know, who knows? Honestly, you know what I mean? Who knows? But yeah, I just think we've just got to keep steady, keep growing at the way we're doing at the moment. The project I'm basically working on is called Gradeware.
Okay.
So it's a system / software system, which will benefit us, but also benefit other grading companies as well. My idea behind it is essentially that the only way our small grading companies are going to survive is by having, you know, the kind of the right kind of platform and the right kind of infrastructure inside. And the only way we're going to challenge against the bigger companies is making sure that we either work together
Yeah.
or we have, like I said, the right infrastructures. So that's part of the plan that's coming with Project Gradeware, which I generally think becomes a way that can take all of the smaller grading companies that, you know, are struggling with the problems I struggled with from the outset of kind of starting MGC, and deliver that on a silver platter and say, go and do it, you know, go and make it happen, and bring grading, you know, to your country as your, you know, own grading hub, and have your own kind of ecosystem inside. Where I think that the UK is developing that, you know, we're developing our own kind of ecosystem inside, where I don't know if that's the right word, but we're developing our own kind of area, our own kind of platform where, you know, cards are selling on a daily basis of MGC, of Ace, of Get Graded, of PokeGrade, of all these other Tree Frog, you know, all of these other grading companies. You're seeing sales happen. You're seeing the transfer of cards between each other. You're seeing people build collections. You know, we see on a daily basis, you know, a weekly basis, that people are cross grading, you know, PSA with us. They're cross grading CGC. They're cross grading SGC, because they want their collections to be one whole thing. You know, and if they're being priced out of PSA, or they're being timed out of PSA, or they're being timed out of the other companies, you know, well, I'm going to stick to one that I know is going to be reliable and know is going to stick to the promises. And from MGC, from the outset, we've always said that our goal is to make sure that when we tell you we're going to deliver, you know, in 8 weeks, sometimes it's less, but if we tell we're going to deliver in 8 weeks, that's what we're going to do. If we are going to be over 8 weeks, we'll let you know. It never really happens, but we'll let you know, or we'll let the, you know, the actual website know, and we'll update the website, say this service is closed, or this service is being extended, etc.
That's good.
And I think they don't do a great job of that. I think, you know, there's people that I know that are still 2 years down the line from PSA, but there's cards coming back from PSA that have only been. So, you know, when you look at that kind of thing, well, what's going on? You know, why is someone being treated more fairly? You know, have the cards been lost? Has that not been negotiated back? You know, been kind of told back to the people or stuff? But that's kind of the plan for MGCs to become, you know, the biggest multi kind of, you know, TCG sports grading company in Europe, as such, which I think, you know, I think in terms of the UK, I think we're the biggest in the UK at the moment overall. You know, there might be other companies that are bigger in certain kind of TCGs and things like that, but I think as a grand scheme of things, I think we are the biggest. I'm sure they will argue that they're the biggest as well, and, you know, and things like that. But yeah, I think probably the biggest grading company. I hope that will be the biggest grading company in Europe. And yeah, also help a lot of other grading companies as well. You know, potentially fight back against some of the bigger ones as well, and you know, things like that.
I think that's really cool. That's a really good answer, Jake. Thank you. And probably nothing to what Dan was expecting from the question, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's it.
So for yourself as well, we've only got a couple of minutes left, but for yourself, as Jake, what do you collect? What have you collected? Is there any things that you prefer to collect, or even look out for when they come in?
Yeah, so my background was Pokemon back in the day, kind of thing. You know, my first ever collection thing was like dragons. I used to love collecting like dragons and things like anything kind of with dragons, and I'd collect. I used to have people like, you know, travel around the world. They'd always pick a dragon up for Jake and bring it back as like a bit of a holiday kind of gift when they went away. So dragons probably got me into collecting, which then led me quite quickly into Pokemon and things like that and stuff. And then as I've kind of got, you know, slightly older and things like that, I then kind of, and, you know, developed more kind of a love for football and things like that. Then went into kind of the football side of things, but still kind of keeping my old collections going and, you know, keeping an eye on kind of Pokemon and things like that.
Yeah.
My now at the moment, I mean, I've got kind of like a kind of a goal to create like the kind of the goats of the game kind of thing. So all the kind of the greatest players in, you know, in football, in American football, in basketball, you know, in baseball, all of that kind of stuff.
Like a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like a bit of a Hall of Fame. So I'm after a Tom Brady auto, which, you know, I'm very short in the pocket away from a Tom Brady auto, so I don't think that will be coming any soon. But that's kind of one of my my next on the kind of the hit list. And then recently I've just been collecting a load of baseball. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I kind of not got bored of seeing, you know, so many cards and things like that, but, you know, it becomes quite repetitive when it's, you know, just football cards or just kind of, you know, Pokemon and things like that. So I was like, right, okay, well, let me kind of collect something completely different, which allows me to still keep up my hobby of collecting stuff. But the baseball cards we get very limited. We maybe get kind of 5 to 10 baseball cards in a week, and there's not a huge amount of collectors in the UK either. So I was like, you know what, I'll start collecting baseball. The product's a little bit cheaper as well, so I can buy kind of some products when I'm going to card shows and things like that. And I just picked up a probably one of my favorite cards in my collection now. I've got a Mike Trout on card, signed on card, heritage card. So that was pretty cool. And it will go in. I don't know if we can. You see all the display cases down here. All the display cases here. So this is where some of my big cards go. Like I've got Pete Alonso auto that I picked up recently. Diego Maradona auto, Ronaldo, Harry Kane, obviously being a huge Spurs fan. What else we got? Some UFC cards in there, some big Pokemon cards as well. So yeah, just a real mix of everything, but that's kind of becoming the MGC museum. It's very small, but it's one day hopefully it'll be a big kind of area where we can invite people down. They can see all the different cards that we have, with grading and things on display as well. So yeah,
that's cool. I like that. That's cool. And I think as well, like for me, everybody collects something slightly different or whatnot, but just seeing like going back to the card shows and things, when you see the amount of people that are at the shows, either selling, trading, just companies, everybody are collectors, and they are, it's so interesting to see just what floats your boat. And it's cool that you're showing it off in the workspace.
I mean, you see so many weird and wonderful things as well at these card shows. That's the best thing about it. I mean, you go to someone else's desk, they've got something there, and you think like, bloody hell, like how, that's incredible. I've never seen one of them in person, kind of thing. I'd never thought I would, and someone's just got one sitting there. I mean, I think last week, I think there was either a PSA 9 or a PSA 10 Lewis Hamilton kind of top trumps card as well, which are extremely rare, extremely kind of cool card. We get quite a lot in and things like that, and we had our first 10 recently, but they're quite hard to grade. To see one in the PSA 9 or a PSA 10, I think it was pretty cool. And then just seeing what other people like as well, and everyone's got their own kind of unique twists on it and stuff. They like their own unique kind of, if it's Pokemon, they have their own Pokemon that they kind of collect, and they've got a ridiculous collection of that. It's awesome to see. And then the same with football as well, seeing some collections, people just collecting one team or one player as such, and really kind of being voted to make sure that they have every single card that he's ever had in is that football player there as such. So yeah, it's good fun. But for me, I think the only real two players that I kind of PC are Harry Kane and Heung-min Son for being Tottenham. The rest of it is more like looking at kind of greats of the game, or looking at kind of real kind of exciting kind of prospects and things like that. And then from a Pokemon side, it's just Gyarados. That's all I kind of collect really in terms of Pokemon now. So going against MGC, but from every single year, I'll collect every single Gyarados from every single year in a PSA 10 as such. So that's kind of my collection there at home, which doesn't get put on display in the MGC office because we don't have much PSA come through here.
That's fair. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the Cardiff card show and other card shows. As you say, you're going to be pretty much everywhere, which is good. I need to look at what your diary is to work out what card shows I need to go to by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, I think we've got Glasgow next week or the week after. I get a notification the day before or 2 days before saying you're at a card show at the weekend, and then I have to go and tell my girlfriend and say, oh yeah, babe, I'm away this weekend, sorry,
dinner's on me when we get back.
We had dinner booked, we had the cinema booked, we had this. I'm saying, we're trying to get it sorted. I think it's gonna be a bit of a tricky one, but I think we might be able to get it done. We've got Copenhagen card show, which would be quite cool. But the problem is now we've kind of got a bit too big on the stand. So I don't know if you saw our stand last time round. It's pretty huge. So I don't know how we'll get that through airport security or whatever and stuff. So we're trying to sort that out. Edinburgh, then I think we've got Cardiff, I think just after that. Copenhagen. I think we have another London card show coming up. And then I think I'm going to try, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's one in Christmas time, isn't there, for in December for Cardiff as well. So I'm trying, but I think I might be away. And then there's also as well, like there's another one, Northwest Card Show in September, but I think I'm away at a wedding, so I can't make that. But that's another good one that we had a great fun at as well. So, you know, I think, yeah, if you're a collector and you haven't been to a card show yet, 100% go to them. If you can get to the Cardiff one, I'd recommend it 100%. I think it's going to be a real good show. I think Gavin's kind of been very clever with the way he's done it. He seems to have been going to a lot of the other card shows. He's got an event background, and I think he's just been sitting there a bit like I don't know, maybe like a hawk or something like that, and just watching. And he's been like watching and learning. Yeah, like a sponge. That's great. Maybe not a hawk. Like a sponge is probably a better word. But just taking on it. And I think he's done really well and learned from it. And I think he'll probably pick the best things from all the other shows. Have his twist on it as well, and make that a real good one. So yeah, I'm excited for that for sure. And I know there's a lot of MGC guys that are that grade of us and things that are coming. So. It'd be good to see them. You know, we see a lot of regular faces all the time that are always dropping the same cards off and stuff like that. So that'd be great to see. And obviously it'd be good to see you as well, mate. You know,
you too.
Good.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Can you just share with everybody that's listening, if they don't know already, social medias, websites, that sort of thing? Where can they find you? How can they submit cards and get in touch?
Yeah, sure. So MGC_UK on Instagram. That is our biggest platform that we use for kind of social media and stuff like that. We do fire stuff off, via kind of Facebook as well. You can also check out, I suppose, if you're based in Asia or Europe, there's the MGC European hub that's just opened up. I think that's MGC Europe on Facebook or something along the lines of that. And then you've also got the Singapore group as well, so check them out. They're kind of dealing with all the submissions from Asia. If you want to submit cards of us, either through the Instagram, you can click the link to go to the website. I think it's majestygrading.com. I think if anyone's watching this and looking to grade cards, I mean, the membership is probably your best option. It works out $34.99 a month, 5 cards graded for that kind of for that price. So I think it's the cheapest in the UK, probably cheapest in Europe. But it allows you, it's a maximum of 5 cards, but it allows you every single month to submit your 5 cards in, which is a great way to get into grading if you've never done it before. And it will save you a little bit of money as well, rather than buying the individual services at $12.99. So yeah, check them out.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time, man. And we'll certainly do this again in the future. Catch up where you've got to, and go a bit more depth again. That'd be great.
Yeah, sounds good. I look forward to it. Thanks again. Cheers.